24/7 Sports ranked every NFL team's worst draft pick of this century. And for the Cowboys, I don't think this is a shocker, fellas, the one that they went with, but you might not agree with it. And they're going with Bobby Carpenter, who was the 18th overall pick of Bill Parcells in the 2006 NFL Draft out of Ohio State. He ended up just having 3.5 sacks. He started 3 games in 4 years with the Cowboys, ended up leaving, went to Detroit, was a Lion, and otherwise probably best known for being a part of Tony Romo's wedding and best buddies with him. Aside from that, didn't do much in his Cowboys tenure.
Yeah.
No, didn't do a ton. Although he did play, am I reading this right? This dude played like 93 NFL games. So he played, and he didn't start a lot.
Around.
Yeah, he hung around. He hung around.
Well, because Parcells was like, man, I got to make this pick right. So even when Parcells went to Miami, I think he brought Carpenter with him to play a little special teams
did
action.
he?
Yeah. So he was with Detroit, obviously, New England for a cup of coffee in his final year. But, I mean, Bobby gets all the hype as the worst. He ain't close to the worst this century. He ain't even the worst of Bill Parcells' era. That is Jacob Rogers, second-round offensive lineman from Oxnard High. That's right, he's the Oxnard High School guy.
It's the last time you heard Jacob Rogers' name.
Exactly. That's why he's the worst. He played in all of 2 games in his career that lasted 1 healthy season. He got hurt, declined surgery, that ticked the team off, and then they cut him almost immediately after. So Jacob Rogers was the worst of Parcells. How about Morris Claiborne?
Yep.
They actually traded up.
Mm-hmm.
They traded up to get him. So not only did he cost them a first-round pick at 12 slots higher than Bobby Carpenter, which is higher money, he also cost them a second-round pick. And he, like Carpenter, didn't get a second contract. Like, Bobby was a bust. There's no doubt about that. But the worst, I mean, I don't know. I can see Jacob Rogers. I can see Mo Claiborne being worse than Bobby Carpenter. I can see Bobby. If you want to say Bobby, I'm not going to fight you that much on it, but I would disagree.
Yeah, they're all really, really bad, but I think it has to be Mo Claiborne because, I mean, Rogers is a good one, but he's a second-round pick. I think the first round just matters so much more. When you swing and miss in the first round, that's really, really bad for your franchise. And then when you do it in a fashion like the Cowboys did with Mo Claiborne, where you're giving up a bunch of picks, you're moving up for him. And not to say that at the time we all weren't like pretty excited about it, because Mo Claiborne was supposed to be a super stud coming out of LSU.
Oh, he was the best corner since Deion coming out of the draft. We were all thrilled to go up and go get Mo.
Yeah, it was. It ended up being extremely bad. So I think when you combine the fact that it was a first round and you traded up picks to go do it, and then Claiborne ended up just being real. I mean, not that he didn't play. I mean, because he did play and he was in the NFL for a decent amount of time, but not a good player and definitely not worth even a first round pick, let alone trading up into the top 10 for him.
Autoflex Leasing Fan Text 877-881-1053. A lot of Taco coming in here. A lot of Bobby, a lot of Mo Claiborne, some Zeke, only because the value of 4 is so high.
I get that.
And when you use it on a running back in this era that we live in, which is not a wise decision, then you compound it with a second contract, which makes it even worse.
That's the thing. Like, drafting Zeke was probably not the smart play there, but the worst thing was doubling down on it and giving him the massive contract.
Yeah, like, I mean, I know everybody says that Bobby Carpenter's a first-round pick. At 18 is like, I mean, most draft scouts will say there's only about 17 or 18 first-rounders in the draft anyway. So you're almost, on a bad draft, you're in the first round in name only. But the value of the 18th pick is not nearly as high as it was when Mo Claiborne was picked, or Zeke. Right?
No, you're not wrong. I mean, Mo at 6, you move up from 14 to 6 to go get him. Certainly when you add in the compensation factor, I can get putting Mo there. Taco, though, is a big one, especially since the Cowboys passed on T.J. Watt. I think that makes it even worse. The 2009 draft just as a whole for the Cowboys, though.
How about around the league, the 2009 draft? Go look at the 2009 draft. Tell me who's any good out of it.
No, that's fair. I mean, the Cowboys didn't even have a pick until the 3rd round, but my gosh. I mean, the whole draft was just disgusting. Jason Williams was their first pick in the third round. Robert Brewster. I mean, most of these guys didn't even make the team.
Hey, what about little Victor Butler? Wasn't he a part of that one too?
Yeah, Victor Butler
was probably the best one.
Actually, yeah, he might have been the best pick from that draft, to be honest with you.
Wasn't that the one when Jerry came out after and was like, yeah, we were just kind of focused on special teams.
Yeah, it was a special
this
teams
year.
draft.
Yeah,
it's like,
we weren't really
so
worried about the starters.
Need anybody to start.
It was a good team. Yeah, it was a good team.
Yeah,
but you need players.
There's never been a team good enough to draft specifically for special teams in the history of the sport. The undefeated Patriots, the Pat Mahomes, Kansas City Chiefs, name that team. No team has ever been built good enough to just focus on the special teams for the entire duration of a draft.